Jesus is often spoken of, isn't he, of being a light that's come into the world. And I'm told by scientists that about natural light, whatever light is a very mysterious thing. And I think it was Albert Einstein that says, if you think you understand light, think again, you're mistaken. And natural light is an extremely difficult thing to understand. It points to the greatness and glory of our Creator God. And likewise, Jesus, as we're talking about the light coming into the world, is a massive idea that I'm going to touch on this morning. What does it mean for Jesus to be the light of the world? In Matthew 4:16, the people living in darkness have seen a great light. On those living in the land of the shadow of death, a light has dawned. How is Jesus light? Is he light to you today? How is he helping you at this moment? How has he been helping you through this COVID situation? What are you facing at the moment? What dark valleys are you facing? What difficulties are you going through? How would Jesus help your non-Christian friends? Do you are you enjoying Jesus so much and his light that you are passionate for your friends to know him? Because to the extent that we're enjoying his light will be revealed in our passion for other people to know him. Jem just mentioned about the vaccine, right? And people are like, wow, there's a vaccine, wonderful. Let's get it spread out to as many places and people as possible, because this is a solution, a light in dark times. Do we think the same of Jesus? Is he truly a solution? Is he truly the solution? Do we go to church and read our Bibles and stuff like that? Or is he, as he's meant to be, a light to us? Let me read to you from John 1:1-5 again. We heard it earlier from Izzy. In the beginning was the Word was with God, the Word was God. He was with God in the beginning. Through him all things were made. Without him nothing was made that has been made. In him was life. That life was the light of all mankind. The light shines in the darkness, but the darkness has not overcome it. The light shines in the darkness. Jesus is a light that shines in the darkness. So, let's think about this. What I'd love you to do is to put into the chat, which I've not got open in front of me, so I'll need to open that right now. I'm just going to come around here and open the chat. What I'd love you to do is to write in the chat, just quickly, why do we celebrate the birth of any child? Just a few quick answers to that. Why? Think about it. Surely it's one of the most joyful things in life, isn't it? If somebody else has a child. In the church community, we love it when a child is born. And there's nothing more joyful than that. And I wonder why that is. And surely, let's think about Jesus. Why? Why are we so joyful? Why is it a light to us? I wonder what would make the ideal Christmas for you. I wonder if more toys. How about more toys? Wave your hand if it would be more toys. And what about a new PlayStation? Stuff like that, a new video game console, or I don't know. But as you get older, I think you come to realise that spending time with people you love, which has been knocked on the head a bit this year, right? Spending time with people you love is really one of the most joyful things about Christmas that there is. And just imagine though, you're at your dinner table, turkey in view, cracker in hand, paper hat on head, the smell of turkey and stuffing coming from the oven. You're surrounded by your best people, the people you would love to spend that day with. And now just imagine that you get a call from someone saying, oh, I need some help. Maybe my car's broken down, got a flat tyre, or there's another need. I need you to do something for me. And just imagine the feeling now. You're in that warm place of the best place you could be, doing the best thing you could do on Christmas Day, and you leave. That's love, isn't it? And one of the reasons why Jesus' birth is a light to us, is because it reveals the love of God. Because Jesus didn't just leave the dinner table. Jesus left heaven, as it says now in our reading just a minute ago. He came into this dark world. The light shines in the darkness. Jesus came into this dark world for you and for me. We celebrate the birth of Jesus because it reveals the love of God. So let's think about why you are saying we celebrate the birth of a child. Introduction of new life into the world, especially considering the complications. Yeah, that's very good. We value their inherent worth as a new person. Jane wrote that. Inherent worth. Isn't that good? I think only Christians really can know the inherent worth, because God puts worth upon people. Cuddles, says Esme. Cuddles! The joy of giving love and receiving love, right? Cuddles. I remember when my children were very small, I would cuddle them and I'd get a sense of elation. And I'm sure we can all relate to that. When conceived in love, a baby is the fruit of that love. Wonderful. It's a representation of love. He or she is a representation of love. Gift from God, celebrating how awesome mothers and fathers are. A baby continues the family line. We celebrate all that the baby embodies, all that they are now, and all that they will become. Very good. You're looking into the future, aren't you? Yeah, I love that. Susie, all that they will become. They will become this blessing to the world, we hope, right? They're going to go out into the world like an arrow. We're shooting them into the world. Like a light, we're sending them into the world to bring light and goodness, we hope, don't we? So much in there why we celebrate the birth of any child. But how about we really celebrate the birth of Jesus by thinking about what it means? And one of the first things it means is a bit like the cuddles that Esme said. It's like God saying, it is God saying, I love you to this dark world. So what darkness are you facing right now, right? Let's ground this in reality. What are you facing? What difficulties? Maybe you're not going to have that dinner table this year. Maybe you're lonely. What's the darkness you face internally, externally? What's on your mind? What's worrying? What's weighing on you? Well, I want to say to you today that Jesus coming into the world expresses the love of God as he left heaven for you and for me. So the light shines in the darkness. Jesus is a light because the manner of his birth also speaks of his heart for all people. The light shines in the darkness, our reading says. Jesus was born in humble circumstances. You know, he was outside. He was put outside. He was born in a stable. He was born, he wasn't like welcomed into the palace. I speak to you parents, could you think of anything worse than having to give birth in a stable? Think about the worrying. One of the persons mentioned there in the chat that one of the reasons why we give thanks for the birth of a child is because of the complications involved, right? Giving birth in a stable? The King of Kings coming into the world, being born in such circumstances. You know, most of us struggle at times with who we are, don't we? From the time, you know, I remember you go to school and you want to fit in. You want to dress in ways that are going to fit in. You get your hair cut in different ways over time, depending on the fashions, because you want to fit in. And that goes through life. You want to fit in. Do I speak correctly? Do I dress correctly? Do I look correct? Do I have the right job? Do I have the right persona? Am I fitting in? I want to say to you today that Jesus is a light to you. You know, what will solve that problem is not the right haircut or the right fashions. What will solve that sense of dislocation and wanting to be accepted is that the light shines on you and you see in the birth of Jesus that he accepts all people from all backgrounds. And then we also need to extend that to others, don't we? We become that light by accepting all people from all backgrounds. So Jesus is a light because it speaks of the love of God. Jesus is a light because it speaks of the breadth of his love to all people. Jesus is a light because it speaks of the power of God. The power of God. Let's just remind you of the reading. In the beginning was the Word. The Word was with God. The Word was God. He was with God in the beginning. Through him all things were made. Without him, nothing was made that has been made. This baby in the manger was the creator of the universe and the sustainer of all things. That is an extreme mystery, isn't it? I said earlier about light being a mystery, being difficult to understand, engaging the biggest brains and still a mystery to us. So how about this, that Jesus was man and God? He was the creator and sustainer of all things, even whilst being that baby in the manger. This is a mystery to us. But we live in a world of mysteries. We live in a world of glory. We live in a world of great mysteries and amazement. So therefore, Jesus himself is a great mystery, great glory. This links to Genesis chapter 1, where we read, in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth. And the first thing he spoke into being, let there be light. You know, I recently spoke to I was out on the street with a friend from the church, and we spoke to a couple, and we said, you know, what do you think about the Bible? Do you ever read it? What do you think about it? And his first response was, I'm a scientist, so I don't believe in God. Which I thought was a bit of a weird answer. I'm a scientist, like people. Basically, what he was insinuating was people who think don't believe in God. Well, I think that's nonsense, isn't it? It was, what was his name? Let me find what I've written here. It was Kepler, I can't find the quote, which is that scientific research is discovering God's thoughts after him. Kepler, who discovered the orbits of the planets, that they are ellipses, they are ovals. And when he did his scientific research, he saw the work of God. And this is, I think you can see creation, we call it creation, some people call it nature, but I call it creation as a Christian, as the work of God, the glory of God, can't we? And I was amazed recently, I'm sure you've seen in the news, about scientists who have been working on a problem about the way that proteins are folded. And they've been working on this problem for 50 years. And now, humanity, made in the image of God, so therefore we are creative, humanity has created an AI, an artificial intelligence that can predict the shapes of these proteins, which will lead to all sorts of medical solutions. I just point it out to you that the best brains in the world have been working on this for 50 years, working on something, trying to research something that many people would say came about by chance and by accident. Can you see how it's quite logical to say when you see proteins and when you see the universe and when you see all things, that it's logical to say there is a God who is a creator and look at his handiwork. Isn't he great? But what I'm saying is this: when you see Jesus, you are seeing the creator of the proteins who understands the folds, who sees the ellipses and the pathways of the planets, who created them and sustains them. So you're seeing where Jesus is a light to us because we understand his power, his great power. Not only is he loving, not only does he embrace all people, but he's also extremely great, glorious and powerful. And so that is a light to you because, brothers and sisters, whatever dark situation you are in, you can turn to Jesus and you can ask for his help and believe for his help. Not only his love and compassion, which is good, but also his power to help you. Jesus is a light in dark times. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. I want you to imagine this morning that you are in that stable and you are looking into the face of Jesus. You're looking into the face of Jesus. This candle represents Jesus, the light of the world, but this morning imagine that you're looking into the face of Christ, this baby in the manger. You know, the world around you may be dark, right? You may be in a dark place. There may be all sorts of difficulties around you. You may be struggling with who you are. You may be struggling with mental health. There may be all sorts of issues in your life. You know, the world is dark, but when you look at Christ, I want to remind you this morning that he loves you. That's why he's come, because God loves you. No matter who you are, he loves you. No matter what difficulty you are in, his power is great to help you. It says the darkness has not overcome it. No matter how dark the world is, the darkness has not overcome the love and power of Jesus. So I want to encourage you to look at Christ this Christmas and to receive the great compassion and love and power that is a light to us at this time. I finish there.